have reached the dinosaur age. I graduated in 1956. This dynasty, Humble dynasty, is a bit obsessed with Biola. My father-in-law attended here. My wife and I attended here. All 4 of my kids graduated from here. I have 2 grandsons here. I mean, what is there? Tempted to ask for a discount, but I haven't done that yet. My name is Arnold Humble. If you shorten it, it's scary because the first church I ever planted, the deacons put a sign out front, Mountain Valley First Baptist Church, a humble pastor, it said at the bottom of it. And I thought I would never quite live that down. That was tough. I have an obsession for 60 years that I want to tell you about. My obsession is to know the will of God and to do it, and to finish well. It's a lifetime obsession, and it will take you the rest of your life to do that. But it started with a godly mother and a pagan father, but I followed the godly mother, fortunately. She had me on my knees when I was 4 years old praying for my dad without laying judgment on him. Anyway, I don't know how she did that because Dad wasn't a Christian, Mom was, but he got saved 3 months before he died, and then he kept saying, I should have done that a long time ago. So that was really cool. God was good. She prayed for him 48 years. That was in Kansas I started out, a country boy in Kansas, moved to Arizona, became a desert rat in Tucson. I hated Tucson at first. The desert, man, the desert, oh, the desert. Then I got used to it. It was okay after I finally got used to it. I met a pastor there, a young guy from Massachusetts. A pastor from Massachusetts pastoring in Tucson, Arizona sounds like one incredibly bad cultural fit. My name is Arnie. He called me Ani. But he started me on this track of, you got to know the Lord's will for your life, because he'd say, Ani, you got to know the Lord's will for your life. And it fit right into my life at that time because I didn't know what on earth I wanted. I didn't know I wanted the Lord's will because he knows the future. I don't have a clue what the future is. So I knew I wanted God's will for my life. But I had to get I had 1 foot in the church, 1 foot in the world. Not bad stuff like bad stuff today, but you know, you had to get away from your buddies. So I came to Biola, downtown campus. Smog thick enough to cut with a knife. Sirens screaming at night. Stuff going out on in the library park next door. You didn't dare look out your window on the benches out there. Oh my goodness. And here was this desert rat in the city now. And I wanted to get away from this place. But you know what I found out really is that I hadn't really surrendered my will to God. God gave us a will. God's got a will. How are you going to line these up? You're going to line up God's will with your will with his will. And I struggled. And finally, after I surrendered in what I thought was everything, I got this incredible peace. And the whole first year at Biola, I didn't think about sports or girls or all the stuff I'd liked most in high school. And God just gave me an incredible experience here, just a peace that is worth more than anything in the whole world. And then one day, I got to my senior year, and I don't know how senior, probably different now, but a senior guy now, he's looking around, and he's thinking, who's going to help me through this life? Because I need a lot of help. And there was this one cute little missionary kid born in China. And wherever she went, she was smiling. Library, hallway, dormant, wherever she was, always smiling. I thought, if she married me, would she smile in her sleep? I mean, I don't know. She was walking by. I was standing in front of Horton Hall one day. Yeah, the real Horton Hall, yes. Downtown LA. Standing there with my friend Don Stiver, who later became a sheriff, and along came Wanda with her big smile, and I said, there goes Wanda. Man, I wish I had the guts to ask her for a date. See, I was a little scared to ask her because she'd been dating high-profile people like a guy that later became a professor at Western Seminary, another really tall underclassman named C.C. Clyde Cook. She dated him a couple times. That was before Annabelle took on her big project. That was the big thing in life. And so my friend Don Stiver said in a big, loud voice, it's appropriate that he become a sheriff, "Hey, Wanda, come here." And she walked over to him. He and I were standing there, and, "How you doing?" "Fine, good." "What?" He walks away just abruptly. Leaves me standing there with nothing to do but ask her for a date. She was happy to. It was between boyfriends, man. It was just so cool. And if I tell too much of that story, I won't get to anything else because, but I began to struggle. Is this really the one for me? Because even though she was perfect in every way for me, even the right height, you know. Yeah, my wife always said it's better to marry a short man than never to marry a tall. And so, that's bad, I'm sorry. I did struggle like crazy. Like every month or so, I'd say, "God, is this really right?" Because I wanted to keep an open hand. And once the right person even shows up, sometimes you struggle like crazy until one day in prayer, God gave me the go-ahead. And enough of that. Well, I'll stop right there. Because we did get married. We went to Denver. I went to seminary, started a new church. She helped me like crazy, worked me through school. Incredible wife. We got called to the jungle of Borneo, West Borneo, Kalimantan Barat. And there I learned that God is the Lord of the harvest. Jesus is not only Lord, he's Lord of the harvest. He knows. I'd walk to villages. I'd walk my legs off. Yeah, my legs off. To some of those villages. And I'd get in there and have walked 4 hours in the hot sun, and I'd preach the gospel with all my heart, show pictures. "Are you interested? You want to hear it again?" "Nah, don't want to hear it again." But then other villages, they did. And one village in particular was called Tengon. Well, a set of villages. Just before I got to Tengon, there had been 4 villages right on top of the mountain. 97% of the people became Christian in these 4 villages. And I mean, if there were 150 people in the village, 147 would be at church on Sunday morning. It was, God just moved. He's the Lord of the harvest. We went on up to Tengon. Tengon was the place that was probably the most unclean Dayak village I've ever been in. We came in and we saw the people were just sort of bathing in kind of a muddy little hole there, but they had a nice river nearby. They just didn't know any better yet. We met the village chief. He was kind of covered with charcoal on his face, but then he put on some kind of a little outfit that he had from the government to wear. Came out with a row of bear's teeth and a thing tied around his head. And he said, "Sit down." And we were in a longhouse, the slats, bamboo slats on the floor. And we looked on the floor, and they basically had wall-to-wall dogs and wall-to-wall dog dirt. They hadn't cleaned the place up at all. And this is not common in a Dayak village. They weren't like that usually. So we stuck our feet out, and he took his chicken wing and he goes, "Salamat, salamat." So he's washing our feet so we didn't bring germs. Somehow your humor still comes out. He's keeping us. These foreigners are going to bring germs into our village, so I'm going to clean them up here a little bit. The kids, after we had eaten our meal, while we were sitting on the floor eating our meal, and the dogs would creep up, skinny old dogs, try to get the food, and somebody would take a stick and whap them. I mean, the Humane Society in Indonesia would go crazy. Anyway, after we'd eaten our chicken, the kids said, "Can we have the bones?" And I said, "Oh, no, don't do that." And then the look on their face was, "You're so selfish, you won't give the kid the bones?" And I said, "Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, let them have the bones." So they were cracking the bones with their teeth, getting the marrow out of them. I was just appalled. And you know what I thought in my heart? I thought, here's what I thought. What's the meaning of a man nailed to a cross 2,000 years ago? Don't they need some education and sanitation and all the rest? Well, of course they need that too, but we preach the gospel to them. And I didn't get back there for a year, but a couple of young Dayak guys went up there. They were the real heroes, Christian guys. A year later, I came to that village, and they had stuck a big piece of bamboo into a clear stream, and you could stand up and take a nice bath. They had swept not only the floors of their houses, but the floors of their yards, swept it outside. They cooked us a decent meal, and we could eat it, and a little schoolhouse was built in the center of the village, and the gospel was preached there every Sunday. They had a little quartet or group of people that actually sang Amazing Grace in 4-part harmony. The light of the gospel was shining in the eyes I would say, ablaze in the eyes of 9 young men waiting to be baptized. And I knew in my heart, friends, that a man nailed to a cross 2,000 years ago means everything to every man in every country in the whole face of the whole world. How many seconds do I have left? 1 minute? 2 minutes, okay. That's scary. Thank you. We moved to Java. Oh, wow, that's cool. Big old clock. Okay. It's going up or down? Oh, down, okay. We moved to Java in '84 because I thought Dayaks should take care of the rest of their work. We went to a seminary where every student had to win 15 people to Christ and see them baptized before he could get a sheepskin on graduation day. You should hear them pray during their senior year. Boy, am I called or not? And God used my wife incredibly in training young women, or receiving young women who had been abused in every way. She did her master's in counseling and all the rest. And I had to line up to get an appointment with her because they loved her so much there. She was just incredible. She was a magnet for hurting people. God just used her in a credible way. We started off in Kalimant with 4 little struggling churches. We ended up with 94 little struggling churches. Not because of me only. There were 3 other missionaries and a hospital there. We finished in Java, Bali, Sumatra. When I finished there in '99, Kevin had joined me. A couple of other people. We started off with 0 and ended up with 41 little churches scattered across 5 different islands. God is the Lord of the harvest. Jesus knows where the harvest is. And if you stick with him, and if you struggle through to his will and knowing his will, he will use you in some corner of his harvest. Now I have to finish by saying this is a special day, and I have to finish on this note because I couldn't have started with it. A month ago today, Kevin and I and his 3 sisters stood around the bed and watched Wanda go into glory. And it wasn't a battle with cancer. It was running for the crown. And she finished well. And now all I have to do is finish well. And I'll tell you this, what I really want most of all right now is to find out what God's will is for my life. Even now. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this message. Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Learn more at biola.edu.